Thank you, Michela, and thank you, Felice, Bulen, and all the Turkish team for organizing this meeting, which is a really challenging one. As far as you know, organizing hybrid meetings are always very, very difficult. But I see this meeting is working perfectly. So congratulations for the organizers. Well, as Michaela was introducing, I will present briefly all the activities we were conducting with the AIMSURF, just to have a general framework and also to talk about different outputs in regards to the questionnaire we circulated. And finally, I'm going to talk about the next steps with the AIMSURF. Just a little bit of recap for those which are not familiar with the AIMSURF activity. It is for the first time ever in Europe, this experimental application of a standardized field collection of invasive species, and also including the citizen science surveillance. So we really built up a very nice network, and you will see on the different results on the questionnaire, for example. Right, so I'm going to go very briefly with that because probably most of you are familiar. The idea was born in February 2019. In 2019 March, we had this meeting in Blanes where we were dealing with citizen science, and we were incorporating the citizen science to the AIMSURFs as well. Then we got this training school in Cyprus, where we really developed the basis of the protocol that we were then applying in the different countries by the different teams. So the final version of the protocol was ready in April 2020. And we also included the BECMAP, this software, intending to be one software that could be useful for AIMSURF. So from May to December 2020, there was the first AIMSURF, which was conducted by many countries and many teams. I will show you the map later on. And then we decided to go for the AIMSURF 2021 that is still ongoing. So for the AIMSURF 2020, you can see here we've got 47 groups, and there were participating 27 countries. And then in July 2020, there was the press release of the AIMSURF's activities that was conducted all over different countries. They were publishing in Twitter, there were people talking on newspapers, and that was a quite a big issue in the AIM-COST community. If we continue with the AIMSURF activities, well, we have been updating almost monthly the different issues in regards to AIMSURF 2020 and 2021, including all mostly the communication is via the team leaders, because as you can imagine, we are quite a number of people in the AIMSURF. From December 2020 to April 2021, Mattia and he's gonna talk about this later jointly with Roberto, Rosa, and Giovanni. They organized this workshop. That the idea was really to have the opportunity to analyze the data that was collected during AIMSURF 2020. As I say, Mattia will talk about that. And then in 2021, after completing AIMSURF 2020, we got a meeting, an online meeting for discussing the 2020, let's say, outputs, and also to discuss what was needed to improve in AIMSURF 2021. So some ideas came out from the box, and particularly about the substrates we were using in the audit labs. I forgot to mention that the protocol is in the webpage of AIM-COST, so it is freely available for anyone that may be interested on having a look. Right. On April 2021, we requested a summary to each of the participant groups, a summary that was produced based on the working shop that we organized, or that Mattia and colleagues organized. So in that case, this summary report was very simple and trying to just have a general idea of what were the results in the different countries and research teams. In July 2021, we circulated this feedback questionnaire. We were very interested, as MosquitoesCOST is basically the main aim of MosquitoesCOST is basically networking. We were very much interested in knowing your opinion about how was MSURF 2020. That's why we circulated this questionnaire on the 7th July. The questionnaire was closed on the 17th July. And I'm going to present briefly some of the main outputs from that question. Then in July 2021, we also circulated the version of the protocol for comparison of deposition substrates to use in the different orbit traps. So this is still ongoing, and we hope to have very nice and relevant results by the end of the year. On July 2021 as well, we started again to somehow try to include BECMAP in the MSURF, and for that, Damian Robinson, which is a new person working in Aviagis, he offered personally, or let's say better, personal advice to any team that may be interested on use BECMAP in the MSURF 2021 or even MSURF 2027. And recently, in August 2021, we had a discussion basically in the core group about how to share the data of MSURF with other platforms, and I will take later on for that. So just a very brief reminder about the people who is involved. This is going to be on the presentation and also here on the session recorded. It's also available at the web page. Here is just a summary of this map that probably most of you know. It's also on the web page. I just want to point out the amazing number of people which are participating on this networking. 153 people in 46 teams. I think it's quite amazing for applying a harmonized protocol to have this level of participation. Well, let's go a little bit with analysis. For example, this is taken from the Excel sheet that we share in the Google. And here you can see that, well, most of the people involved in the, well, we are good with the gender balance, not so bad, almost 50%, which is good. But then we have majority of senior working on the MSURF. And then we have also quite a number of, that would be early stage career, and these are females, early stage career, these are males, and then senior females, students, trainee, and so on, ending with technicians and early stage technicians. So as you can see, we have really quite a variety of different people working, different kind of background, from seniors to early career researchers and so on. And this is good for to show that to MosquitoesCOST. I just took some of the random outputs from the different reports that were submitted to me by email. This, of course, still needs to go under analysis, but if you think that 1 year ago or 1.5 years ago, it was difficult to imagine that we may have, for the same season, using the same methodology, these 4 nice plots from, for example, Albania, from the team of Kela and colleagues, from Italy, for example, from Alice, or from Cornelia, from Hungary, or from Fatima in Naker, and colleagues in Spain. So we are now in the position with all these 46 teams to compare that. If you remember, it was basically to compare the the seasonal trend and particularly the peak of abundance in different geographical regions, and also being this the basis for maybe future modeling in a pan-European level. So I think we really accomplished this objective. Now it's time to get out the different outputs from this activity. For this, we are really aware in AIM-SURF and in AIM-COST that all participants should be recognized, and for that, as you remember, we were developing a certificate for contributing on that, and then and then we were also thinking about the different outputs to be produced from AIM-SURF. There were at least 2 papers that will be produced, one more general paper and maybe a perspective paper. And then during the meeting, this meeting I mentioned in August 2024, that was the situation where ECDC approached AIM-COST in the sense to be able to get access to the data. It was discussed there that probably to publish the data in a scientific data journal could be a good solution, but as I put here in bold letters, it is open for discussion and we can discuss later. So from here, I'm going very briefly and quickly to the different outputs from the questionnaire that some of you answered. There were 26 teams that answered from 46 teams, so there were people still not answering the questionnaire, but it's good. I think we have a very good representative number, and those countries that answer are included in this list from Albania, Austria, etc. Well, very briefly, as I say, because this is going to be published in a report, but I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what we obtained. There is, again, a very wide variety of different institutions working, from academia to government agencies to private companies. Most of the institutions are universities and research institutes. Most of the people, they were going for the OBI traps only, which is fine. As you remember, in the protocol, we were also including OBI traps and other collection, and most of the people, they were going for the OBI traps, which is fine. Most of the people also, they were working in areas with the AIM-SURF invasive Aedes species, but some of the team no, but that's okay because some of the team were able to detect for the first time invasive species thanks to AIM-SURF. About the protocol, it seems that it was very clear to everybody. This is going to 0 to 5. 5 is wonderful. So for most of the people, the protocol was clear or very clear because I take 4 also as a very good result. The same of how much of the survey protocols were you able to implement. The majority of the people were able to implement the protocol, which is great. There was no, let's say, a majority of people having troubles to implement the protocol. This is a very important question that was, were you able to integrate the AIM-SURF 2020 activities into your routine surveillance programs? Again, most of the people, they were able to do that, and there were a number of teams, 15% of the teams that were not able to do that, and I think that probably deserves some further exploration. How easy was to follow the AIM-SURF in terms of identifying sample sites? Very easy for most of the people, no problem. How easy was to follow the protocol in terms of the OBI traps? Very easy, also no problem with that. For the adults, this is something that worries me. For the adults, it was not so easy. There is a lot of high percentage of 5, but however, there is a low percentage also of people that was not content with that. So I think we also deserve to take this into account. About BECMAP.
Miguel?
Yes.
Hi. Just to say, I think you have 2-3 more minutes, but you are the chair, so you can decide. But just to inform you.
No, Phyllis, I'm speeding up. Thank you. Okay, about BECMAP, clearly BECMAP was not regularly included into the protocols of the different teams, and this is also something that deserves exploration. Here are the answers why not, and practically most of the answers were dealing with it was very difficult to use a BECMAP in the routine surveillance. About very important question about what you would improve in AIM-SURF. There was a bunch of answers, but here there were basically communication, and this is something I really take note, communication and networking probably is something we need to further explore. And this is also a very important question in the sense that how do you think this contributes to harmonization? I think there is no doubt all the people working in AIM-SURF, they found it is very good, and it was between 5 and 4. Right, so I'm just skip the conclusions because it's basically what I was mentioning, and I think it's good to have it here in the record and also the presentation. I'm just finishing with the next step. That is going to be for sure finish AIM-SURF 2020 and go for the Orbitrap substrate comparison. All the outputs, publications from the AIM-SURF 2020, to think about this scientific data journal I mentioned, and then to improve and organize AIM-SURF 2022, that some of this is going to take place in the NET training school in Valencia. And something we need also to improve is the link between the field and the citizen science activities that, for example, Miguel is going to explain in the next talk. So I just want to thank very much to all of you that are here on this list. This is, if AIM-SURF is having these wonderful results, it's because of you. And I really think you deserve to be present on this symposium. So with this, I finish. Michaela, apologies for taking a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Miguel.